Hi everyone. So I'm going to show you how to take this picture. And it's pretty cool and looks pretty noir. I've seen a couple of examples of it on various photo feeds for Cyberpunk. So you might want to learn how to do it. And that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to get out of photo mode. And we are going to take a picture. So we're going to do that, and you can do this anywhere. It doesn't matter. You can see it's daylight here right now. So hit N as in Nancy to get into photo mode, and I'll try to be aware that not everybody may know what I'm doing. So you might get a little bit more information than you need. What I'm doing right now is scrolling in with the middle mouse button. I'm using the right mouse button to adjust the photo on the screen, in the position of the camera, so to speak. And you use that, and you'll notice down here it says rotate camera, and camera distance is here. And you can move the camera vertically or horizontally. And well, that's horizontally, and that's vertically, using the left mouse button. So we are also going to change our camera preset, and camera 3 is pretty good. So using the left mouse button, I'm going to adjust a little bit, and I'm going to use, actually in this case, I'm going to use the field of view to narrow my field of view on the subject. See what's going on here? You know, the less, so rather than zooming in, which would be the middle mouse button, what I'm doing is I'm adjusting the field of view, so I'm really have less of a frame around my character and my photo. And now I'm adjusting a little bit with the middle mouse button. So that's a lot more information than you probably need, but just in case. So, and then I also tend to tweak things just a little bit. See, the top of her head was getting cut off there, so I moved the field of view out a little bit more. All right, so we're going to do that, and that's pretty good. I want to rotate this a little bit, which I'm going to do. There we go. That's pretty good. And I'm going to move in just a little bit more. All right, now we're going to go to V. This is all positioning, by the way. Get your camera position and all that kind of thing. So the category, you're not going to deal with that. Most of these things you're not going to change. You can change your outfit. Good idea to do that before you start before you start positioning your photo. Let's change her expression. Nah, fury, boredom. That's a good one. All right, and look at camera. There you go. So now she's better centered, and we can still change a little bit. I'm moving in a little bit there. And that's pretty much it for that, I think. She's positioned well at this point. So again, use your look at camera to change the way she's looking at the camera, and it centers a little bit more. Keep this on upper body, because that'll move her a little bit when you're positioning her. All right, so the weather, first of all, let's change time of day to nighttime. Okay, and then the weather is, before you change these, actually what I would do is come over here, and we will change the effect to these are a bit much, but you see you got some cool options here. We're going for black and white. There we go. And we do want the intensity to be 100, but you can fool with this a little bit if you want. And now let's go back to V. And change everything else looks good here. Nighttime, sunny. We don't care about that. Rain, fog. Fog might work best, depending. but that's good. That's good. So now here's the trick, and this is kind of the trick to the whole thing. We want our exposure to be 0. Ooh, there she goes. So it's going away. And bring up our contrast a little bit. There you go. Now it's very, very black. Now this is just me. Other people might do this a different way. So you've got lots of options with the Cyberpunk photo tools, and they're very, very good. So what I'm doing, by the way, I was getting ahead of myself there. So notice I brought the exposure way, way down, and I brought the contrast up a little bit. So now we are going to go over to our lights, and this, don't be afraid of it. They're pretty handy, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn our one light on. There we go. And you notice we've already got a little bit of light on V here. So we want to bring the brightness up a little bit. There we go. And notice she's coming out of the darkness now. I might bring that down just a little bit. And now you notice that this thing over here, this is your light. You can actually bounce out of this pose, but I'm not going to do that because it might mess up our photo. But what you do now is you use the right mouse button to rotate the light. There we go. Look at that. It's like a classic noir photo already, and I'm just rotating it. And you can see here, there's actually a real kind of like studio light here that you can use. You can use the middle mouse button to move the light up and down. Pretty nice. And we're going to rotate that around with the right mouse button. Get a little bit more light on her right side. And you can move around the light around with the A, S, D, and W keys. But you may not have to. In this particular case, I don't have to. Now, if we come back over to V, the light will disappear, the studio light. See? And there we go. We're all set for our picture. You can play with some things here, like you want to bring the exposure up a little bit, give her a little bit more light. You can do that here. If you want to make her darker, bring the contrast up some more. But you notice her hair, the definition on her hair is disappearing. So you may not want to do that. And that's about it. So there you go. You know how to do this now. So just going back over the procedure, you want to be in drone mode. You want to change your preset, get a narrow field of view, a smaller field of view. Make sure your depth of field is on. I know it doesn't look like you can't see anything in the background, but it still makes a difference. Change your weather. Make sure your time of day is like midnight. It's at night. You might want to try different weather settings. Like, you can get different kind of looks with different kind of weather settings, even though you're not seeing the weather. Yeah, just a little bit. Pollution looks pretty. The fog is good. V, make sure she's visible, of course. Change your outfit before you get started on all the screwing around. Change your facial expression. Look at camera and make sure this is set to camera. Otherwise, you can change this too to move her around, different customizations. But for this particular photo, we're doing look at camera, and it should be her body that you're moving, not just her eyes. Otherwise, she'll look like that. She'll look away from the camera, but she's looking at the camera with her eyes, or just her head with the body turned slightly. Lot of extra detail here, but I'm giving you some extra information so you know. And then the big thing is, change the exposure, move the exposure all the way down to get this particular photo. Bring your contrast up a little bit. And then finally, and don't forget to change your effect. And finally, you want to turn on your light. And then you can position your light using the WASD keys, rotate it using your right mouse button. Use the center mouse button to bring the light up and down. So that's it. If you want to bring the light down a little bit, let's like that, makes it looking more ominous. You can do that with the mouse button, the middle mouse button. So there it is. We got a very noir looking V, and it is time to take a screenshot. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. Hope you liked this. Hope it was instructive. And I think it's I think the photo tools are awesome. Subscribe if you like. I'd appreciate that a lot. Thank you.